morning. Did everybody survive the Taylor Swift Bowl? I would like to give a shout out to all of the NFL is rigged people for teaching me that the NFL is rigged. So I was able to make an informed decision before betting on the game. And since I knew it was rigged for the Chiefs, I went ahead and bet on them. So thank you. I learned a lot last night, too. One thing I learned, apparently, is that the Usher halftime show was nothing more than a satanic ritual. I learned that. I don't know where these people come up with this shit. Yeah, me too, Vic. I was just kidding. But, I mean, the reality is that Shanahan blew it again. Again. There was also some controversy about whether or not San Francisco should have elected. They won the coin toss in overtime. Now, you know what? I didn't even know this. I'll admit I didn't even know this till last night. I didn't know that there was different overtime rules in the postseason as there were compared to the regular season, and I don't know why that is, but apparently it is. But a lot of people were criticizing the 49ers for electing to receive the ball to start overtime. Putting them at a disadvantage because if the defense scores a touchdown, game over.
holes are mysterious and bizarre objects in the universe.
But one thing,
really have no explanation. In fact,
I think
we know anything about what lies inside of a black hole. We know and understand what we see on the outside.
Let's say that San Francisco would have scored a touchdown, and then the Chiefs scored a touchdown to tie it in overtime. Well, then, now it comes down to sudden death. Now the next team to score wins. So I'm assuming San Francisco would be the next team to get the ball, right? That goes back and forth. So that would have put them at the advantage to win in double overtime or sudden death overtime or whatever you call it. They don't even call it double overtime, I don't think. Whatever they call it, sudden death. Yeah, Scott. Yeah. The Chiefs, the entire first half, had zero answer for the running game, mainly with McCaffrey. And then he just stopped running it. Well, he stopped running it until the very end of the fourth quarter. But yeah, you're right. There was a lot going on. I was on. I was sort of like monitoring Twitter during the game. And first of all, you already know there's going to be a lot of people complaining about everything. On social media. But I think it's getting worse. I mean, if you were on Twitter last night, everything sucked. The game sucked. The halftime show sucked. I mean, everything sucked. I enjoyed the game. I thought it was a good game. At no point during the game was the game over for either team. I thought the halftime show was okay. I mean, yeah, it's raining like crazy here. My yard's flooded. Ballard, you missed your own show? Yeah, that Dylan. Yeah, that the missing the extra point was a big deal. Obviously, that's the reason they lost. Feel bad for that kicker. Also, though, you got to give credit to Butker. What did he kick? Like a 60-yard field goal in the first half? Then you had the whole thing with Travis Kelce getting in Andy Reid's face. That was another controversy, if that's what you want to call that. People are mad at him for that. You know. Oh yeah, Ice Spice was up there with Taylor Swift in the box. Mrs. Peete goes, who in the hell is Ice Spice? I said, I think she's a rapper, but I'm not 100% sure. I said, I think she's really just famous for, like, shaking her ass all the time. Like twerking. I don't know. I've never heard an Ice Spice song, ever. But people were mad about her being there. Why? I don't know. Like, why does anybody care who's there with Taylor Swift? Yeah, 57-yard field goal. Yeah. Congratulations to Huffer Billy Paul and Uncle Lou. I guess they won some money. Well, I know Uncle Lou bet on the Chiefs like me because I actually made my bet through him. So I know he won that. And then I guess he won some Super Bowl squares or whatever that Twisted Rooster was doing. Once San Francisco only got that field goal in overtime, I knew it was over. I knew it right then. I said, Chiefs are going to win. You didn't want to watch it? Yeah. Well, there was a lot of people that were claiming not to watch it on Twitter, but then they were commenting on it constantly. Now, while I didn't sit around and complain about the game and the halftime show and Taylor Swift and everything else, I do have one complaint. And I think this is a valid complaint. What has happened to Super Bowl commercials? They're not good anymore. They're not. I mean, what was the best commercial? It had to have been. It had to have been the Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Maybe, I don't even know. First, the Arnold the Arnold Schwarzenegger commercial. This, what was it? State Farm Insurance. That was terrible. The Super Bowl commercials used to be funny and witty, and I don't know, they're just bad now. Like, I can't even think of one that was very good. I guess the Dunkin' Donuts commercial was kind of funny, but that was it. Yeah, Nate liked the commercial where they were all the bird teams. Yeah, I don't know about that. The Niners also had some bad luck, right? They had the one guy blow out his Achilles just running on the field, non-contact injury. He had Deebo Samuel tweak his hamstring, a non-contact injury there too. And that was a huge blow to them. I mean, outside of Christian McCaffrey, I mean, that's their two best players offensively are Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey. So. And then you had, I forget what quarter it was in. It was either the second or the third quarter. Brock Purdy missed a wide open touchdown. I believe it was Deebo Samuel that he was who he missed. Chiefs tried to give away a game too. I mean, the interception that Patrick Mahomes threw was terrible. That's probably true, Tiger Cat. I'm sure that has something to do with it. All right, let's see. Let's get rid of that. It's starting to get annoying. Let's see if there's any headlines from last night. Shall we?
Breaking news from the PigskinPeete YouTube channel.
RFK Jr. apologizes after Super PAC Super Bowl commercial aired. I guess I don't even remember that commercial. But why is he apologizing? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. apologized to his family members after a Super PAC backing his independent bid for the White House aired a commercial during the Super Bowl on Sunday night. Quote, "I'm sorry if the Super Bowl advertisement caused anyone in my family pain. The ad was created and aired by the American Values Super PAC without any involvement or approval from my campaign. FEC rules prohibit Super PACs from consulting with me or my staff. I love you all. God bless you." Why would it hurt their feelings? I guess I don't remember seeing that commercial. American Values 2024 ran a 30-second ad during the Super Bowl that heavily relied on imagery from former President John F. Kennedy 1960 presidential campaign. PAC co-chair Tony Lyons confirmed at The Hill, to The Hill, that the ad, which appeared just before halftime show, cost $7 million. Well, that sounds like a giant fucking waste of money. $7 million. There's got to be at least a million other things they could spend $7 million on for their campaign that would be more effective than a Super Bowl commercial. And there's literally nobody who's going, you know what? I was going to vote for the other guy, but you know what that really changed my mind? The Super Bowl commercial. Oh. My cousin's Super Bowl ad used our uncle's faces and my mother's. She would be appalled by his deadly healthcare views. Respect for science, vaccines, and healthcare equity were in her DNA. She strongly supported my healthcare work at blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Not a lot of stuff about a Super Bowl on here, unfortunately. I guess I could go to the sports section. That's probably more what I probably should do here. All right, so this is what I was talking about a minute ago, about the overtime rules. So the 49ers admit that they were unprepared for the overtime rule. We got to see the NFL's new playoff overtime rules in action on Sunday when the San Francisco 49ers failed to win the 2024 Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, a result that seemed pretty much inevitable once the Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan chose to take the ball first in overtime. San Francisco's first and only overtime possession resulted in a field goal while the Chiefs scored the game-winning touchdown. It was the first time that the playoff game had gone into overtime since the NFL adopted new rules in 2022, which gave both teams a chance to possess the ball. Prior to that, the first team to score a touchdown in overtime would win the game. Even though the rules have been around for 2 seasons, some 49ers players were still living in 2021. Okay. Shanahan knew the strategy, but it hadn't filtered down to all of the players. The Chiefs, on the other hand, have been running Super Bowl overtime drills since training camp and spent significant time over the past few weeks discussing the strategy. Man, it makes it even worse because the Niners are they're the ones that won the damn toss. Several Niners players admitted that they did not know the overtime rules. The last 5 to 10 minutes of the game could have been wildly different than what we saw. Well, you know, it's one thing to admit that you didn't know the rules, except for the fact that before the coin toss, the referee stood there and explained the overtime rules right to the guy, the captain's face, and everybody watching. So you can't say I didn't know the rules when they just explained it to you. Now I guess the buck falls with Shanahan. He should have told the captain, if you win the coin toss, defer. That would have been. I mean, that's what he should have done. If San Francisco had scored a touchdown on their first possession instead of a field goal, there likely would have been several players celebrating on a sideline like they literally just won a Super Bowl, when in fact they still had to give the ball back to the Chiefs. At least with the way it turned out, the Niners only had to deal with losing the Super Bowl instead of losing a Super Bowl and then embarrassing themselves by not knowing the rules of the very game they play for a living. Oh. After winning the toss, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan elected to receive the kickoff rather than then defer. Well, I didn't see them ask Kyle Shanahan. The player, the captain did. See, this is what I said. Shanahan explained after the game that he wanted the ball if the game went to sudden death with the third possession. So that's what I was saying. Because had the Chiefs not scored a touchdown and only scored a field goal, or had the Niners scored a touchdown and then the Chiefs scored a touchdown to tie them, now it's at sudden death and now the Niners get the ball. So I'm not even still, that's what I was asking. I'm still not convinced that was a bad move for them to do that. So yeah. Yeah, I don't really think there's a right or wrong. I think I would have preferred to defer too. One of the strategies I heard is with Brock Purdy being young, that if you defer, the Chiefs go down, score a touchdown. Now all of the pressure is on Purdy to tie the game, which I think I would have deferred too, but. So here's the off the field thing. Everyone was talking about what Kelsey got in Andy Reid's face. I didn't see anything after the game. Well, I went to the bed after the game, so I guess that's why. But did anybody ask you? Did anybody ask them about this? So from what I can remember, the Chiefs drive down. I think they were down at this point by a touchdown. Maybe they were down 10-0. I think maybe they were down 10-0. They drive down. They get inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line, I think. And they take Kelsey out of the game. Well, they fumble the ball, turn the ball over, and Travis Kelce's hot. And he storms over to Andy Reid on the sideline. Andy Reid doesn't even see him. He's looking down at his play sheet. And Kelsey kind of chest bumps him. And Andy Reid kind of loses his balance a little bit, and then Kelsey gets in his face and starts screaming at him. Which I'm assuming he was unhappy that he got taken out of the game in the red zone. And of course, people lost their minds. Yeah, I agree, John. I think I agree with you. Now, while I do think that the way that Kelsey handled that situation definitely did not look good, I also think that it was blown way out of proportion. Because you know who didn't seem too bothered by it at all is Andy Reid, the guy in question. I mean, so. There's a certain amount of people out there that just don't like Travis Kelce. They don't like him for a lot of different reasons, which is fine. And but that's just a fact. The 49ers and Chiefs open as favorites to win the Super Bowl next year. So in Vegas, they had both the Chiefs and the 49ers as favorites to make it back to the Super Bowl. Did Kelsey ever propose to Taylor Swift? I don't think so, no. Uh-oh. Some more Taylor Swift talk here. What is the real Taylor Swift like? Travis Kelce's dad talks about life around the Pops superstar. I will give her credit, though. You know, after the game was over, and they all, you know, all the players and all the wives and everybody, and all family members of the players for the Chiefs went up on the stage to receive the, you know, the Lombardi Trophy and give their little, you know, speeches and whatnot. She didn't go up there. She stayed down on the field. I'm assuming she didn't want to take away the shine from the team and have all the attention on her, so she didn't go up there. Yeah, I don't care about that. All right. Well, there you have it. The end of the official end of the football season. I mean, the college season ends second week of January, and the NFL season ends second week of February, and that's it until the end of August, unless you include high school football. It starts a little earlier than that, but you know, the next season for college starts at the end of August. And so we've got another 6 months, 6.5 months. Yay. Well, Vandy, you screwed yourself out of winning the bet as soon as you bet on the 49ers. If you would have consulted me, I would have told you how to win, but you didn't. So I did win. Why would anybody bet? Why would anybody not bet on Kansas City getting points in a Super Bowl against a rookie quarterback on the other side, and against a coach who's known to blow it in big games, especially Super Bowls? I mean, it was a no-brainer. Did feel bad for Christian McCaffrey because I'm a fan of his. He had a big game too, but they stopped giving him the ball. In the third quarter, they just stopped running the ball. Is that what you call him? Shanna Coker? Shanna Choker? And that was a freak accident, too, with Greenlaw blowing out his Achilles by just running onto the field. That was a huge loss for them. Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Reba McEntire's national anthem, I thought it was good. How is she like 70? I tell you what, she looks damn good for 70. Or however, she's got to be at least 70. I don't know how old she is, but she's got to be at least 70. She looks good for 70. And then you had Post Malone do America the Beautiful before the game. Which I thought was also good. There was people complaining on Twitter about how I guess he messed up one of the lyrics or something. I don't know exactly what they're mad about, but of course they got to find something to be mad about. So they're mad about that. $68-ish, yeah. Reba should have been the halftime show. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, there you go. It was a good game. It was entertaining. I know there's a lot of people complaining, in the first half about how it was low scoring, it was boring, and this and that. I don't need to see a touchdown every drive for it to be a good game. I like to see a good defense. Something that's lacking. And a lot of professional sports these days. Everyone wants to see a bunch of points scored. I don't even know what the over-under was because I didn't bet on the over-under. I bet on the spread, but I think it was like 40-something. I think it went under. No, Nate, I didn't know about you getting your license. Is that a good idea? What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
What's up? How about that game last night? I'm going to be honest. I actually fell asleep. I was so tired from work, but I woke up in the middle of the night and I had all these notifications and I saw that they won in overtime and I'm like, damn, did I miss a good one?
Yeah, the ending was great.
Yeah, I went back and saw highlights.
Yeah.
But now we got to hear all these Swifties for the next offseason talk about, oh, she's dating a Super Bowl champion. And I'm like, who gives it?
Well, she was already dating a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, but now it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just got to hear it again. But It seemed like a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a really good game.
Yeah.
I liked it. I don't know. I think they said it was the 7th longest game in NFL history.
Was it?
Well, first of all, I don't know if they include halftime in that because if they do, the halftime in the Super Bowl is a lot longer than a regular halftime.
Yeah.
It was basically 5 quarters is what it was. You had the 4 quarters and there was an entire quarter. Was it an entire quarter or was it? I think it was. Yeah. So it was basically a 5-quarter game.
Yeah. And then you kind of saw, I did see plays where they were, there was this one play that Mahomes had the ball, but he was running this triple option and he picked up 20-something yards and just kind of kept the drive going and everything. And so, they got creative. I think the Chiefs really got creative with their play calling, with what they wanted to do. So, I'm not surprised they went back to back. I didn't know what to expect from this one other than I thought it was cool we were getting a rematch that we had saw just 4 years ago. And, there was part of me wanting to see – I wanted to see a young guy in Brock Purdy get it done, but obviously that did not happen.
Yeah.
So.
Andy Reid's the best coach in football. I don't even think, is there really a debate about that anymore?
Well, considering Belichick's gone,
Yeah.
He's got to be the best now.
Yeah. Even if Belichick was still there, I'd say he's better than Belichick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is Nate at? I know y'all can't see it, but what is Nate
He's
doing?
at work, it looks like.
Is he washing dishes?
He's washing dishes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for Nate.
I don't know why he came on here to show us him washing dishes, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-year-old rematch. I don't know. It seems like everybody just wanted the 49ers to win. The same reason why everyone was tired of watching the Patriots win all the time.
Yeah.
So they just hate... Like, they just want to see somebody else win it. I get that.
I don't
And then-
see. I had made a video this morning, and I had talked about, like, I love Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Like, I'm pulling for the Chiefs. I want to see them do something great. But I think the thing for me this year was all this, like, Taylor Swift talk and all this talk about, oh, is she going to be at the game, and is this going to happen? And that news was kind of what pissed me off. And I just got tired and fed up, so I started pulling for the 49ers last night.
I don't know.
I'll admit it, I fucking hate Andy Reid.
Oh, really?
Well, that goes back to like the late '90s, early 2000s. Like
when he was in like
there was some there was some bad blood between Philly and Tampa Bay back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hate him, but I mean, what he's accomplished.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. He eventually stopped fucking up like Brian Kelly.
UCLA has a new head coach, Deshaun Foster. I guess he used to play for UCLA. That name sounds familiar, but I'm not too certain on him. Anyways, I didn't mean to get off topic there.
Yeah, I got to give it to Mahomes. He's probably the best quarterback in the league right now. I mean, to say otherwise is probably a little silly.
Yeah, of course it's silly.
Now, I don't know, like, I don't know what Travis Kelce... I didn't watch the game, but I mean, did Andy Reid, like, stick his dick in Travis Kelce's cup of Gatorade or something?
Well, he took him out of the game when they were down in the red zone, and then they turned the ball over. And Kelce wasn't happy that he wasn't in the game. It wasn't a good look. I'll admit that. I still think people are blowing it a little bit too far out of proportion. But it's mainly because of how it happened. You know, Kelce's a big guy, obviously. And Andy Reid's, you know, old and kind of frumpy. And Kelce comes over there, you know, like a bull in a china shop, and kind of almost knocked him down.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look.
No. I don't know if he'll get some sort of fine from the league. I don't know how the NFL does anything anymore. I doubt that Andy Reid's going to punish him in any way as far as a suspension of the beginning of next year or anything like that. I doubt it.
I mean, Kelce's had a couple of those moments in the postseason, though. Like the whole thing with him and Mahomes picking on the kicker from the Ravens, who was already there when they come out to warm up. It's like, you know, okay, he was already there. Find your ass somewhere else. It's a big ass field. Kickers kind of got to be in the vicinity of the goal.
I don't know. I kind of like when there's like a couple of unhinged players, as long as nobody's getting hurt. Like back when you remember when Ndamukong Suh was like playing dirty and stomping people's heads and shit. Like that's taking it too far. But I do like to see some people get mad. It adds to the entertainment value of the game.
Oh, I do too. But I mean, if you're picking on a kicker and a coach, you just look like an asshole then.
Yeah.
Like, what threat is a kicker? Like, go pick on a fucking linebacker. if you're going to do something like that. You know what I mean?
I just remembered a time, it's actually in college, but you remember what game was it? It wasn't the Rose Bowl of that year, but the year Baker won the Heisman. You remember that one game he was on the sidelines, like grabbing his junk and all that?
Oh, that was
the Kansas game.
Yeah, that was the Kansas game.
That was Kansas? Okay.
But they also refused to shake hands before the game, so that set him off, and he started running his mouth, which, I mean, whatever, you know.
Yeah,
I really didn't have a problem with Baker for that.
No, he went to shake their hand before the game, and they refused to shake his hand, so he was pissed about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of a clown sometimes too, but you know.
Yeah, he's a prick. I mean, I don't think anybody really debates that. You know, that was part of the. I'll admit that was part of the reason I didn't want him in Tampa Bay, because I mean, we had already dealt with, you know, somebody that wanted to be an asshole back in the day with Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, he doesn't really do that anymore, does he? Baker, I mean.
No, not really.
He didn't do anything like that in Carolina that I can remember.
I mean, has he really had excuse to with, you know, I mean, I guess that one year when he took Cleveland to the playoffs.
Oh. Well, in other news, you just mentioned it. How about Chip Kelly going to Ohio State? How do you think that went? Huh?
Is that where he's going?
Yeah. How do you think that went down?
I don't know.
Because
to me, it comes across as a very desperate move.
A desperate move on whose part? Ohio State? Or his? I don't.
With him, it makes sense because somebody would actually still want. Listen, people figured out Chip Kelly's offense a decade ago. That's why he hasn't, you know, you started to see the success trail off there at Oregon. He had very little of it in the NFL, and he really hasn't had any since he come back to college.
But he wasn't fired from UCLA. He still had a job.
Ooh, by the skin of his teeth, yes.
Yeah,
There's
but so does.
a lot of talk about firing him.
But they didn't fire him though.
No, they didn't.
And so what? Does Ryan Day call him and say, "Hey, I know you're not happy where you're at. You want to come coach here?" Or does Chip Kelly reach out to Ryan Day and say, "Hey, I know you got an opening. I'd be happy to take the job if you'll offer it to me." I don't know. I want to know how that all went down. I know he quit. But did he quit because Ryan Day asked him to come, or did he quit because he was just ready to get out of there and then he just jumped on the opportunity? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I can't take credit for this because I've heard somebody else say it, but I completely agree with the analogy. It seems a lot like Jimbo hiring Bobby Petrino.
Yeah. I think it was a great hire for Ohio State.
Yeah.
They're my favorite to win it all next year.
I mean, based off of what?
Based off of the recruiting, plus what they've got in the transfer portal, and then adding Chip Kelly to the staff. You can say what you want to about Chip Kelly, but he's still a good offensive coach.
I think he was. I don't think he adapted with the times like a Lane Kiffin has offensively. Because as time goes on, you've seen him have less and less success.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I wrong?
Well, I don't think that the UCLA job is a job that you can really prosper at for very long. Like, I never thought that because they hired Chip Kelly that they were all of a sudden going to be like a national title type contender. You know, I thought he did okay there.
How's everyone doing?
What's up, Nate?
I mean, as far as recruiting in the portal, you can make the argument that Ole Miss has done just as good as Ohio State.
Well, they lost their best player to Ohio State in the portal, the running back.
Is it Judkins? Was it Judkins?
Yeah.
Or...
I think he was the leading rusher in all of college football this year in the Power 5.
I know he was in the SEC at least.
Yeah. He had like 2 straight seasons of 15-plus touchdowns. Led the country in rushing. He's a good. I mean, I was surprised he left Ole Miss, but with the way that things are going with NIL now, I don't know what kind of promises that they made him in Ohio State to get him to leave. Because he was, he was a superstar even at Ole Miss. He didn't need to go there to raise his draft stock or anything. He was going to he's going to be highly drafted no matter where he plays. For a running back.
Well, sure, but I mean, look at how running backs are in the league. I'm sure the line of thinking with running backs in college is to get the absolute most you can now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's probably what it was. And they got a couple of really good players, I think, from Alabama too. After Saban retired. They did really well in the portal, and of course, I still think they're top. They finished in the top 5 again, I believe, in recruiting, like they do every year. I guess the big question is
5 or 6, yeah.
I guess the big question is what's the quarterback play going to look like, because that's been a problem for them.
I really didn't think quarterback play was that huge of a problem for them. I mean, okay, Kyle McCord didn't have C.J. Stroud-like numbers, but not everybody does their very first year playing full time.
I know, but they had 2 of the best wide receivers. They had 2 of the best wide receivers alive on their team last year, but you wouldn't really have known it. I mean, I don't think
Harrison still had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody complained about UGA's offense. Do they have a 1,000-yard receiver?
Well, Brock Bowers probably.
I don't think he hit 1,000.
He didn't.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Where's my Georgia people at? Did Bowers have 1,000 yards? I don't know. If he didn't, it had to have been close.
That would be surprised. I mean, I can't tell you the last time a tight end did get 1,000 yards.
He actually, I got it pulled up here. So you talked about Brock Bowers from last season. He had 56 receptions for 714 yards, and he had 6 touchdowns. He averaged about 13 yards a catch.
Okay.
So
I know he was injured.
Near.
I know he was injured part of the season, so were his numbers even better the year before or no?
Probably, if I look. Yeah, he actually, last year he had 942 yards and 3 touchdowns.
So the year
so
before.
He almost,
okay.
The year before, he almost cracked 1,000.
Jay Shipe says Georgia's only had 1,000-yard receiver. It was 20 years ago. That had to have been A.J. Green.
Probably. Because I know, I mean, and I even agree with them that Pickens was probably that guy to do it, but he never, at least in college, lived up to his potential. And some of it, because of injuries. I mean, it is what it is.
Terrence Edwards. So it wasn't A.J. Green then.
I mean, listen, Xavier Restrepo last year was Miami's first 1,000-yard receiver in a decade. That's why I've got some confidence coming into this year, because between 2 guys, we've got just over 2,000 yards worth of production coming back in just 2 receivers.
I was seeing people compare Ryan Day to Kyle Shanahan last night. The 2 guys that choke in the big games.
I mean, it's a apt comparison in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. Where's the Super Bowl next year? Do you know?
I haven't the foggiest.
I'm gonna look it up. Which next year's 59?
Yeah.
Let me look it. Let's see. Super Bowl 59, New Orleans.
Huh.
The Big Easy.
That's interesting. Might have to save my money for that. Of course, I'm looking into, because I want to go to all the SEC stadiums. Next on the list, I want to check out the third Saturday game in Knoxville probably this year. I got family up there.
I've been to Knoxville for a game. It was cool.
Did you guys see they had because it was in Vegas, they had to, do something different. They had like a whole section on the behind one of the benches. I can't remember which bench it was behind, but anyways, it was on the sideline, on field level. And it was, they set up these, it almost looked like a VIP section in a nightclub. They had like couches.
Yeah.
And like these tables, and they had a waitress. It was like a champagne bottle service and all this. And nobody bought the tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody was sitting there.
That's funny.
I know, and you know what? They were probably charging some ridiculous like $50,000 tickets or something. Nobody bought the tickets.
Hey, VicTube's in the back.
Okay.
Somebody claiming to be VicTube at the least.
Yeah.
Is this the actual VicTube?
It is.
Yes, this is the real VicTube.
Okay.
Is this a Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
What's up?
Now, I didn't watch that broadcast. I know that Nickelodeon did a broadcast as well.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Nickelodeon broadcast the Super Bowl last night.
No, I saw something about that on Twitter. I thought it was a joke.
No, they did.
It was real.
Yeah, no, and well, first of all, they've done that. They do it all the time, but they do it for regular season games. That's the first time I've ever seen them do it. I think it's the first time they've ever done it for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I've watched like a playoff game on Nickelodeon before.
Did they not do the AFC, NFC titles?
I honestly don't know.
I don't get. I guess I just don't understand. Something tells me the demographic that watches Nickelodeon is not hard up watching NFL games.
Well, plus it's just silly too. It's like they have slime on the field, and it's just like a bunch of weird graphics.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I have a hard time believing that the ratings were very good for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it says to me that the ratings in general for the NFL aren't good, so they're trying to do what they can to expand it.
They are good, though.
Yeah.
Well, then why would I don't know? Like I said, that seems like a stunt to me to boost ratings. Why else would you do it?
Well, I mean, the more the merrier. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do what you can to have higher ratings? I mean.
Well, I think the whole idea behind it is to get to get kids watching it, interested in it. Because I don't know a single adult that's sitting around going, I can't wait to watch Nickelodeon Super Bowl. So,
Well, last time I checked too, I mean, if kids are watching the Super Bowl, other people in the house are probably watching it. And I highly doubt if I'm going to tune in and watch Super Bowl, it's not going to be on Nickelodeon.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd rather go listen to like the team, which actually
That's why I say it comes across as a stunt because you need the ratings.
Well, it is a stunt, but yeah.
I'd rather watch it in Espanol than I would Nickelodeon. How about
No,
that?
not so I'd watch on Nickelodeon than in Espanol.
Did they? Yeah, the lingerie bowl has been canceled for years now.
And that is a travesty.
Yeah.
What's the lingerie bowl?
It used to be.
Bunch of chicks playing football in lingerie.
It used to be Victoria. It used to be Victoria's Secret models would play like powder puff football and wearing lingerie during halftime.
Are they single?
They had the lingerie bowl and they had the puppy bowl. And they used to have, you remember the Bud Bowl?
The Bud Bowl?
It was Budweiser versus Bud Light. And
Oh my God.
you used to be able to actually bet on that. Who would win, Budweiser or Bud Light? That's a, talk about a degenerate. If you're betting on that, you got a real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, NFL on Fox confirms that it will be New Orleans next year for the big game. 50, yeah, Super Bowl 59. So that'll be good. Can't wait to see what Baker Mayfield and the Bucks do.
Now, is this stat that I keep hearing that a Bama player has never scored a touchdown in a Super Bowl true?
Yes, that is actually true.
Well, hold on now. First of all, I thought that Joe Namath was an Alabama quarterback. He's never scored a touchdown in a Super Bowl before?
Not throw a touchdown pass in a Super Bowl. No. He did not throw a touchdown pass. No.
And even when the Eagles played the Chiefs last year, like Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts were not, well, of course, Oklahoma's going to be the name mentioned for Jalen, but I mean, I don't even think Devontae Smith I don't think he had a touchdown against the Chiefs last year, did he?
Wow.
No, I guess not.
Bart Starr, Ken Stabler, John in the chat is naming some names here.
That would be my next question. Is Bart Starr?
I guess none of them touchdown pass in a Super Bowl.
I'm gonna look at this.
All their team's touchdowns were the rushing touchdowns or like field goals or defensive touchdowns. But
hey, let me ask Slim this because I know he's a big Tom Brady guy, and listen, I still agree that Tom Brady's still the GOAT. The people are because of what Patrick Mahomes has done. He's been in the league 6 years and he's won 3 Super Bowls, which is pretty amazing. Okay, and he may end up being the greatest of all time, but just going ahead and calling him the greatest of all time now, just because he's ahead of where Brady was, I don't agree with that. You still have to surpass him to be the greatest of all time.
Right. Well, I think that
That's
probably
fair.
like in
Well,
like
and
terms of like talent and athleticism. I think he's probably.
well, okay. I think Aaron Rodgers is a more talented quarterback than Tom Brady is.
Me too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And a lot of guys were. I think Dan Marino was. I think John Elway was. I think Joe Montana was. But none of them won. 7 rings? How many did he win? 7?
7,
Yeah.
6.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So.
and then
I mean,
he holds every record on top of that.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, he's been in,
including most career interceptions. So
I thought that was Brett Favre.
nope.
Brett Favre's career wasn't as long as Brady's.
Nope,
Yeah,
Brady.
that's right. For a while, it was Brett Favre. I guess. Well, Tom Brady stuck around until he was 45, so it was eventually he was going to hold that record too.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. But having said that, that's the reason I bet on the Chiefs last night. I was like, there's no way I'm betting against Mahomes in a Super Bowl where he's getting points.
Exactly.
Well,
That's what I thought too. I wasn't. I think I even said in like my prediction video for the Super Bowl, I said I'm picking the Chiefs, but not because I think it's rigged.
Well, and then, to your point, I also, even if Mahomes ends up with just as many as Brady, and this is one of the few takes where I agree with Stephen A. Smith, Mahomes almost has to surpass Brady at this point because Mahomes is, 0-3 against Brady in the playoffs? Or in the postseason?
0-2, but yeah.
0-2? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What the Chiefs did was still impressive. That they were the only team in the league, I believe, that played 7 straight weeks to end the regular season, and then you add the playoffs without a week off. Well, I guess they got a week off between the championship game and the Super Bowl, but all teams get that.
Yeah.
Everybody else had a bye week somewhere in there. They didn't. They went on the road and won all their playoff games on the road, and then were down 10 last night and came back and won it in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And that seems to be where the Chiefs thrive, is coming from behind.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
look at their first run, they came from behind in every game.
One of those games, weren't they down like 14 at one point in that Super Bowl run?
14 or 17, something like that.
Yeah.
he's had 3 different. Well, they were down on all of them, I think, that they won.
Well, they were, but I was trying to think of the deficits because
I mean,
it's
for
very hard.
longevity's sake, though, the problem they're going to have is that $500 million contract that they gave Mahomes.
But they already had he already was the biggest cap hit in the NFL this year, and they still won.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay, and you can pull out a single year where it works for people. That's what I'm talking about.
but it wasn't
as
just a
far as
single year.
longevity.
It was the same thing last year.
Yeah, they got rid of Tyreek Hill, so they
Yeah.
could pay Mahomes more, and they're still winning. So yeah.
I don't understand the people that think that. What's the advantage of rigging it for the Chiefs? Because there's still a lot of people that believe that.
That I was watching the video that Matt Be Great made after the Super Bowl. I don't know if y'all watch him or not, but he says that he thinks that the advantage to it being rigged is that more people will hate watch because they want to see the Chiefs lose. But
Exactly. I mean, it's no different than boxing. A lot of people watched a lot of Floyd Mayweather fights just wanting to see him lose. And then by dint of Floyd Mayweather being good, he had a lot of people that jumped on the bandwagon.
So, but
It kind of shifted from him. Well, hang on. It kind of shifted from him once he retired to Canelo Alvarez. And you saw there were, and I'll point to the first fight between Alvarez and Golovkin. And people were up in arms over the judges' scoring of that, because you'd have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to come up with some of those.
But we know for a fact that boxing is a dirty sport. Like, it's been proven over and over again.
So then how is the NFL somehow exempt from that?
well,
Or
because
any sport for that matter.
because of individual versus individual.
Yeah. It takes one person to throw a fight. The guy who's fighting.
And team versus team. Yeah.
But either way, you made the Floyd Mayweather comparison. Well, Floyd Mayweather is kind of a flashy, kind of a jerk. He's very unlikable. Like, Patrick Mahomes isn't an unlikable guy, I don't think.
I don't think
Well,
no.
neither is Tom Brady, but a lot of people wanted to see him lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mahomes is likable. I mean, he's a likable guy. My God, look at all the commercial ads he's on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Travis Kelce is unlikable to a lot of people for other reasons.
Right.
But
I was pulling for the 49ers last time.
We've obviously seen the fix in team sports before. It's been proven in basketball. It's been proven in baseball. So why somehow is football exempt from that? You got to do some serious mental gymnastics to actually think that.
I don't know. Do you think that the NFL is rigged, Slim, or normal?
I think there's good arguments going either way, but I'm not going to go as far to say as it's completely rigged without evidence.
It's completely big, scripted.
yeah, well, that's the same thing.
I do think the NFL wants to put, everybody's got their poster child they wanted to push.
Mm-hmm.
NBA did it with Michael Jordan, did it with LeBron James. NFL did it with Tom Brady. They're doing it with Patrick Mahomes. but you'd have to show me some evidence of it being rigged.
Right. And I don't see, let's say that the 49ers had won last night. Does that mean that next year less people are going to watch the NFL because the 49ers won instead of the Chiefs? No.
No. More.
No, I think a lot of people were pulling for the 49ers last night.
Yeah, a lot of people were.
Because they kind of were, although they were the 2-point favorite, they were kind of the underdog because you had this new, fresh quarterback, Brock Purdy, and I think he's going to have a great career. I was pulling for the 49ers last night because of him. But, as I said in the live chat, Shanahan does what Shanahan does. He abandons his damn program. He abandons his running game in the second half.
Yep, Shannon
Which Andy Reid has done, by the way, too. Like, that was a key component to Kansas City having the trouble they did against Tampa in the Super Bowl is Andy Reid got it stuck in his head that he just wanted to throw.
Well, Andy, here's the thing about Andy. They talked about this pregame. That Andy Reid is going to adjust his play and how he coaches upon the players that he has on the field. And he's done that.
A big part of the reason
he's an excellent coach.
A big part of the reason that Kansas City was back in the Super Bowl this year was because of Pacheco, the running back. Now, when it comes down to when the game is on the line, he does put the ball in his best player's hands, which is Patrick Mahomes. But they pretty much rode the running game all season long.
Right, but what I'm saying is that, and even Andy Reid falls susceptible to this. Look at the Super Bowl they lost against Tampa. They were averaging 7-8 yards a rush, but once again, like I said, Andy Reid was just bound and determined to throw that ball for whatever reason.
Uh-huh.
And look at perfect example. Look at the defense that Todd Bowles was running. He was running the old Tampa 2. Two high safeties and trying to get pressure with his front four.
Well, Tampa, so.
Yeah, well, and he was having success at it because you cannot throw a team out of a defense like that. You have to run them out of it.
Yep.
And he just wouldn't hand it off enough.
And by the way, too, I'll go back to that Super Bowl and Super Bowl 55. You could tell, like, Mahomes was making an effort, and you could say whatever you want to about Andy Reid wanting to throw the ball. I think Mahomes himself got into his head a little bit and just tried to do too much on his own.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's what happens. Like if you get inside your head or let the defense get inside your head as a quarterback. I mean, I don't want to say choke or fail, but you're just not going to perform to the best of your ability.
Well, and back to the original point that we were talking about. Now, like I said, I want to see evidence to say that something is rigged in the NFL.
Yeah.
But if you pull up, say, for instance, that pass interference call in the Saints Rams game, what was that, the NFC Championship?
Yeah.
Before the Rams played the Patriots.
That was a terrible call, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that was.
It's like when you look at something as blatant as that, like, how can you not say, okay, that's a little sus?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's the same.
You see it in all sports like that, though, too, Slim. I mean, you see it in college football all the time, where they have blatant bad calls.
Yeah, well, and I'm not just talking about blatant bad calls like that. There's no two ways about that where you could see that. And he got there 5 minutes before the ball did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason I say we've seen a fix in other sports, because I've heard refs give interviews about it. When years ago when Allen Iverson threatened a ref, they called him for every ticky-tack thing they could for like 12 games after that.
Right. But there weren't really controversial call. Last night.
It's stuff that and okay. I mean, there may or like I said, I didn't watch the game, so I didn't know if there was any ref ball going on last night.
Well, first of all, I agree with you. It's human nature when you have humans, a player and a ref, that if a player is an exceptional asshole to a particular ref, he's going to be more likely to call something on that player just to kind of, get back at him.
Right.
but that's different than just saying, you know what, refs get together before the game. Yeah, no matter what happens tonight, the game's predetermined. The Chiefs are going to win in overtime by 4 points. That's a totally different thing than what you're saying.
I didn't see no fat envelope in any of the refs' pants last night. I don't know. Did y'all see any fat envelopes?
No, I mean, it looked like they called an even game, like they were calling these on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to look.
Well, and then the arguments that are made, in my opinion, just don't stand up to scrutiny. Like one person can't determine the outcome of a football game. Well, yes, a quarterback absolutely can determine the outcome of a football game single-handedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure they can.
Exactly. There you go.
Well, yeah, they can throw interceptions on purpose or whatever, throw the game, I guess.
Right. So to say that it can't be done, and like I said, that argument just doesn't hold water with me.
Yes. Quarterback can change the outcome of a game. Yeah.
Well, that would be a huge scandal if that happened in the NFL.
Yeah.
That would be huge if it was ever determined that anything like that was going on.
If
You
we
wanna
found
talk about a fair
But you
game?
also have to
Rule
figure with the NFL being a business, only two people have to know about it: Roger Goodell and that quarterback. And the less people that know about it is what makes it easier to pull off.
right.
So here's a stat for you guys about last night's game. I'm looking at it here from ESPN. So give credit to the Niners. They had more time of possession. The Chiefs had more passing and rushing. They just had more offense to ultimately win the game. But you look at the penalties. First off, number one, 2 turnovers for each team. But both teams actually ended up with 6 penalties each. And the Chiefs actually had more penalty yards.
That's the other thing too. Like, there's 2 things. There's 2 reasons why the Niners lost last night. Now we could talk about the coaching, with abandoning the run game, like Scott was talking about. But really, here's why you can't. Here's what you can't script. You can't script them missing the extra point. You can't script Butker kicking a 57-yard field goal, and you can't script the turnover that happened on the kickoff when the 49ers the ball hit the guy in the back of the foot.
Yeah.
And they turned it over down in the red zone, and I think that led to a Chiefs score, right? A touchdown.
There's just random events.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just wild.
And that's why I say, without proof, I'm not going to believe that a fix is in.
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it is like the referees call the shots in the game as far as, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And when I see that teams have even number of penalties, or even if it was like 6-5 or something like that, if it's not a huge deficit of penalties, like, how are you going to say that it was rigged or set up? And I mean, I just can't.
I think a huge deficit one way kind of makes it obvious.
Yeah.
No, it was a tight game. I expected it to be a tight game. It was actually tighter than I expected it to be. And you go down to being in overtime, and that's only happened for the second time in a Super Bowl match. So, for every practical purpose, it led up to all the hype it was. Sometimes these Super Bowls aren't.
it did, yeah.
And am I the only one that notices in this quote-unquote age of offenses, like, over the last, 3, 4, 5 years, we're going back to seeing kind of lower scoring games.
Defense still matters, man.
Well, this game was supposed to be in the 30s, and it wound up to be, 25, 23 or 22? Yeah.
And then you had the Kansas City-Baltimore game that people thought was going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
Well, I even remember the Super Bowl.
That was almost an Iowa game, damn near.
Defense wins championships.
Yeah, all the credit goes to Mahomes, and because you got Kelsey and Mahomes and Pacheco, those superstars on offense. But honestly, the Chiefs probably have the best secondary in the NFL.
Yeah. And then what about Mecole Hardman making the touch?
That play looked pretty familiar to me.
Yeah.
It looked just like the Deshaun Watson to Hunter Renfrow touchdown pass to win the game in the national championship against Alabama in 2016.
Yeah. You want to talk about we talk so much about all these different quarterbacks and offenses that we have in the NFL. I want to take you back to week 18 of this year, the regular season finale. You talk about Josh Allen and what the Bills have, and you talk about what Tua's done this year. That game was a Bills victory, and it was only 21-14. Just to hop back on the train of how games are and defenses and everything, but
Christian, go ahead, Slim.
I was just going to say, for all the talk of the Jets being cursed, I'm kind of convinced the Bills are at this point too.
Hey, have you heard that the Bills are building a new stadium, and it's going to be open?
Yeah, that's weird.
An open outdoor stadium in Buffalo.
Yeah.
What in the hell are they thinking?
They're not.
That's what they're thinking.
They think it adds to the ambiance or something, but that's great.
I mean, I can dig old-fashioned football, playing in all the bad weather, but that just makes no damn sense.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a big middle finger.
Modern day of pro football.
Yeah, it's a big middle finger to the fans.
Confusing in Lambeau as well.
Well, Lambeau, yeah, but Lambeau's owned by the people. So,
and I understand that, but once again, this is 2024. We have the technology.
Yeah, at the very least, make it a retractable roof so you can keep it open if you want, but close it if you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
in Buffalo, for God's sake.
Close it while nobody's that way. The stadium doesn't fill up with fucking snow. You can close it, and then you can open it up when all the people are there and the game's being played.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah, but I just think that's a waste of resources and money to build a stadium in Buffalo and it not being closed. That's just asinine.
Yeah.
Well, what it could be too is look at Minnesota. They got a roof, but they got so much snow on it, the damn thing caved in.
Well, that was an old stadium. That was a bad design.
That was an old stadium. Yeah, that was. Yeah. I mean, with the new stadiums today, look at Allegiant Stadium. That's a beautiful damn stadium in Vegas.
Yep.
Well, I don't think Vegas is going to have the weather problems that Buffalo or Minnesota have.
No.
Well, even Dallas is enclosed. Mercedes-Benz enclosed.
They had to enclose the one in Vegas because it's not just used for football. It's used for concerts and all kinds of stuff. And during the summertime, it's 180 degrees in there.
It's brutally hot.
Yeah.
It's hotter than hell. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, the tourist season lasts, during July, you can get a damn cheap room in Vegas because it's so brutally hot.
So I got a question when it comes to stadiums and everything. So we know that we have domes in the NFL, but I look at a team, you go to college football real quick. Syracuse plays in a dome, but it's right there at Yankee Stadium. So does any college team have a dome of their own?
Well, North Dakota State does.
That's the only one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about to say the next closest one would probably be that canopy over Hard Rock.
Yeah, I believe that's
and that stadium is small, supposedly, isn't it, for Syracuse?
Not, but it's their own stadium.
I mean, there's 50,000 seats in there.
Is there 50,000 seats? Okay.
Yeah.
Someone told me it was tiny. And that's why.
It's tiny for a football dome, but it's huge I think it's the biggest basketball arena in the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, didn't they just get air conditioning in that thing 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I think that both fans walked away from that game feeling a little. I mean, yeah, I'm sure 49er fans are disappointed, but
of course they are.
Look, they played really well. I thought it was except for some of the coaching ideas at the end of the damn half, I didn't think was,
Yeah, I don't know why they abandoned. McCaffrey was getting 7 and 8 yards per carry all game long, and they just stopped giving him the ball. It's weird.
I know. What the hell? Yeah. I mean, Shanahan did that. He did that with Atlanta, if you remember. He did the same damn thing.
He did. He Shanna choked. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Shanahan shit show.
Now, see, here's where I'll give Shanahan a little bit of credit, because you saw this problem in Atlanta even after he was gone. That defense gave up every lead that offense ever got.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, Atlanta's always done that, though. I mean, that's just their MO. I mean, yeah.
Injuries really.
You know what an offensive lineman would always say for Atlanta when Matt Ryan got tackled? He'd pick up Matt and say, "I'm sorry, I missed that tackle."
San Francisco got really unlucky last night with the two injuries that were non-contact to two of their best players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw about the linebacker. What was that? He was just coming out on the field.
He was just
before the game started.
Yeah, it was during the game, but he was just running out on the field to go take the field and just fell and blew out his Achilles.
Well, and I've heard talk about this over the past couple of years. Like, there's whatever this new turf is that they're using, the players don't like it.
Oh.
Did anyone play the Taylor Swift game last night?
What game was that?
That would be for every time Taylor Swift appeared during the game, you took a shot.
Mm-hmm.
How many shots would you have taken?
I was doing schoolwork, so I couldn't be drinking.
It'd been 10 shots you would have taken.
Yeah, and guess what? Most of those 10 times they showed her was all in like the fourth quarter. They hardly showed her at all in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, they showed her pregame a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Now here's a theory that I didn't understand. People were saying the fix was in because Brittany Mahomes is going to be on the cover of the next Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. I don't understand that one.
Okay.
Is that true?
Sports Illustrated is defunct now. It's bankrupt.
Oh, yes. I retweeted that as a matter of fact because a lot of Miami fans hopped on that Sports Illustrated got defunct. So a lot of Miami fans were retweeting the cover where Sports Illustrated said Miami should drop their football program. Back in the early 90s, they put out a big article about how Miami was so bad and so much worse than everybody else that they should just cancel their football program.
Wow.
One of the things I saw everyone was mad at Taylor Swift for was she was chugging a beer at one point.
Yeah.
And they were saying, how dare she do that? She's got all these young girls that look up to her. It's like, shut up.
Yeah, she's 13 hours away from Tokyo to get to the game.
Was she chugging a Bud Light? Okay, then I can understand you.
I don't know. It was like she was drinking. Whatever she was chugging was out of a cup, so I don't even know what kind of beer it was.
Well, I heard the announcers talk about, Roger Goodell was up there talking to her.
Oh, yeah.
They were saying that Roger Goodell was going, "Thank you so much for saving the NFL."
Yeah, I find that just as dumb as most people.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, it is what it is. Most people are bitching because of who she endorsed for president. And listen, if you're going to take advice on who to elect, into any office from a person that spent their career essentially writing songs about her bad taste in men, that's a you problem.
Well, I don't know. I just don't care who she's going to vote for at all.
I don't either. Or Kid Rock, for that matter.
Right.
America.
I don't think he's any better to look at. I'm not taking advice from him on who to vote for either.
I'll tell you my advice from Slim Whitman, the yodeler.
Well. That sounds about right. John says she was only shown for 53 seconds during the game. That's more than normal because I think the average somebody did like a thing where she averaged like 18 seconds a game throughout the regular season.
So now we have to figure out how we can get 53 seconds of our life back.
They showed a lot of people. I mean, all the celebrities that are there. They showed like Jay-Z and Beyonce were on the screen just as much as she was.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Pete, did
LeBron was there.
Buffering in the last minute of the game with all these storms that were rumbling through.
Did you put it on?
I'm sorry.
Did you hear me, Pete?
What would you say?
I said, did you experience buffering on your TV in the last minute of the game because of all the storms that were coming
No,
through
it
last
did.
night?
It did start to storm real bad towards the end of the game, but I never had a problem.
Oh, we did because I mean we have direct TV. That's the problem.
Oh yeah,
you know?
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
See, I don't get that though. Like when a bad storm comes through, yeah, it'll pixel for a second, and then it'll just swap over to streaming.
Yeah, well, normally it does that. Yeah, it did. Normally it does that, and it didn't do it last night. So, you know, we almost didn't see the last minute of the game.
Oh, I'd have been mad because I had money on the game.
Oh, you had money. Well,
Yeah.
Did you make some money?
I did. I bet on the Chiefs.
Okay.
on the money line.
So you didn't make a lot of money.
No.
No.
I bet you DraftKings was busy as hell yesterday.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You bet.
I mean, do you see all the sports betting advertising that's going on these days too? It's unreal.
I know. I'm still pissed that we don't have it here yet.
I know. We don't, do we?
No. There's like, I think more than half of the states have it now. We're not one of them.
We're going to be last in cannabis. We're going to be last in sports betting. You know, that's going to be atypical.
Yeah, I want to smoke weed while I'm betting, fuckers.
Right. I mean, either we're going to do it illegally or, you know, you can do it a legal way. I mean, there's a ton of sports betting that goes on.
Let us do it legally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think North Carolina
we don't want Bruno to break our legs because we didn't pay the bid, you know?
Pretty sure North Carolina just legalized it. I think. I don't know. I know it's legal in Tennessee. Is it legal in Georgia?
No.
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 Yeah,
All of a sudden,
we got
these southern states.
betting, but no weed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, possibly Tennessee are all going to be bass backwards in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could at least legalize cannabis for medical purposes.
Shit, Tennessee hadn't even done that.
I know.
Well, in South Carolina, you've got to be literally dying.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
No, literally. Yeah. Yeah. So did y'all see the video that I did after the Super Bowl with the balloons?
Yep. I saw
Where
it, buddy.
I like sucked the helium out of the balloon, like a 49ers balloon and a Chiefs balloon. Yeah.
I was laughing so hard.
And then I popped the Niners balloon first, and then I also did the Chiefs balloons second because I was mad because they won. But yeah.
You sucked the helium out of the balloon?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Please don't play this.
What'd you say?
Well, what did I say? Well, yeah, I guess I said, well, yeah, well, I guess one thing I said that was that,
Hey, don't give the plot away. You got to make them go watch the video to find out what you said.
You're right. Yeah, Tim's right. Not gonna do it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, tease that video, Vic. There you go.
Yeah.
It's like 8 minutes.
8 minutes of him sucking on a balloon?
Well, no, that's
See
not,
my video?
that's not the entire 8 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah. You know, if it was after the game, I didn't do anything. I went to bed. I'm old.
Right. Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get up and go to work this morning.
I was-
shit to do.
I was mad that it was going to overtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what we should be more mad about, yeah.
So here's the name of the video if you guys want to watch it. It's called Taylor Swift Wins the Super Bowl. Vic Breathes Helium.
That's a good title, Vic.
That's like saying, "Hey, Taylor Swift won. I guess I'm a head out."
Tell me, what the hell is Nate doing in the background? Is he preparing food?
I don't know what he's doing.
I think he's still doing dishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came and stayed in my house for 5 days, didn't wash a single damn dish.
That bastard.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Why?
well, we're done with football till when? April, maybe?
I guess we got the UFL, but I'm probably not going to watch it.
Oh God.
I didn't really watch. I didn't watch the USFL or the XFL last year either.
Well, haven't they combined? They combined,
Yeah.
right?
Combined into the
Yeah,
UFL.
they're the UFL now.
I think that maybe last year I watched like one game. I think I might have watched either the XFL or the USFL Open.
I'd rather watch arena
that was it.
Leaves football.
And I think that was it. But yeah, I didn't stick with it. But yeah.
I didn't watch any of it.
They're these medium market towns, right?
First of all, are they still doing that stupid thing where they all play in Birmingham?
No, I think they only did that for the first year.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, where do they find a stadium for these teams? What are they using? High school football stadium?
Well, I think this is gonna. I think they've already done it for like what 2 seasons of the USFL. I think the first season they were just playing all the games in Birmingham, but I think they did go to different stadiums in their second season. But
Yeah, I could see them using like smaller college stadiums like Troy.
Yeah.
That's probably what they do. Yeah.
Did Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson lose his ass on his investment into the?
I think there's a reason he combined with the USFL.
yes,
Yeah, I would think so.
UFL.
Oh, speaking of that, you see Tom Brady's a part owner of the Raiders now.
Of the Vegas Raiders, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's got the money to throw around, doesn't he?
I guess so.
What a stud.
What didn't they offer him somewhere in the range of $45 million a year to do be a sports analyst?
Well,
Yeah, there was like and people are wondering what was going on with that because it got reported that it was like a $350 million contract with Fox Sports, and he hadn't been in the booth once.
I'm pretty sure he's taking over for Greg Olson, if I remember right.
Well, that would be good because Greg Olson ain't worth shit.
Damn.
You know, I mean,
Watch your
he's not.
blasphemous mouth.
Now, look, Matt Ryan, I was impressed by Matt Ryan yesterday. I was impressed by J.J. Watt yesterday.
What do you think about Romo?
I actually like Greg Olson commentating.
Greg
I thought
Olson.
he wasn't bad.
I
Dan
hope
Mullen
they-
did a better job than I thought he was going to do.
Yeah, I hope they keep Greg Olson.
What do you think about Tony Romo? People complaining about him last night too.
I think Tony Romo is pretty good.
I like him. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's all right. I mean, look, he got lazy there, and I think Jim Nantz got on his ass because he wasn't researching and prepping for the games. And if you'll notice that when you have Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, I mean, Troy is like he's got all the damn stats and in front of him to talk about.
All the facts.
well, I don't really give a shit about every obscure
all
stat that you can possibly
all the
come up
fun
with.
facts.
No, but you
But-
got to be prepared for the game. I think that it's just like being prepped to go on the air. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they said Romo was not doing that until Jim Nantz got on his ass about it. Said you got to start doing this.
Yeah.
I think everybody was impressed with the fact that Romo could basically call every play that was going to happen before it happened,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
which Troy Aikman can't do.
Yeah.
Well, because he's concussed.
Yeah. I know that that Romo.
Okay, well, get his CTE ridden ass off in a fucking retirement community somewhere.
Hey.
Concussed
FanDuel.
Troy Aikman. And here's a concussed Troy Aikman to tell us more.
Right. Romo was trying to tell the Niners that y'all need to run the ball. Yeah. When you get
Troy
back.
Aikman got on my nerves ever since he started bitching about them doing flyovers at football games. It's like
That,
they've been doing flyovers at football games for 40 fucking years. Why are you bitching about it now?
Your tax dollars at work, folks.
He didn't have a problem with it when they were flying over the fucking games. He was playing it.
Well, he's sensitive because he's gay. He's sensitive because he's gay.
He had a problem with it because it was Trump and he wanted to whine.
He's gay.
He's gay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, so.
I don't know whether he is or not. That doesn't. I'm happy for you. You do you.
With
boo-boo.
everything we've talked about today, we've talked a lot about the Super Bowl and all that, but we gotta let everybody know and understand something. That Taylor Swift has more Super Bowl appearances since the 90s than the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man. Damn, that is sad.
Shut up. Wow, Christian. Wow. Man, let's throw those Cowboys under the bus,
That's
man.
why I was just laughing, so I just realized.
Damn.
Yeah. She
Wow.
made it before they did. And all she does is sing and talk about heartbreakage.
In auto-tune, too.
Dude, I watched this video on YouTube the other day. Like somebody had gotten a hold of, I guess, studio recordings, and I mean, it wasn't just people like her. It was rappers and shit too, and it was with the auto tune cut off.
It's awful.
It's
horrible.
terrible, man.
Well, there's the thing is that's the modern way to record these days. They have all kinds of things other than this auto tune to get the voice pitch perfect, and that's the way record labels want the recordings to come out. So that's what they do. Whether an artist wants auto tune or pitch themselves, they still do it.
Speaking of performances,
you got to look at all the artists that came up in the 60s and even the 70s when there was no auto-tune, that they had terrific voices. But sometimes you'd go to a concert and you hear somebody a little off, at a concert.
Well, here's the thing. And that's kind of been my problem with stuff like American Idol over the years. You don't have to have a perfect voice to be a great musical act. Like, nobody, like James Hetfield or Lemmy from Roadhead is never winning any awards for their ability to sing. But it works.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was heavy metal, though, too, Slim. I mean, so, you can get away with a raspy, gargling voice like Lemmy had. But Lemmy was perfect for with Ace of Spades and all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
the thing I was most impressed with last night during the halftime show was when Usher came out on roller skates.
Yes.
Now,
you know what I was impressed with? When it was damn over.
but there's a 45-year-old man out there skating around like a 15-year-old.
Right.
I couldn't believe it.
He's been in the biz for 30 damn years, Usher has.
Yeah.
And why? Why do they go to these old acts? I get it that, okay, I'm still thinking that most of the audience, I may take that back. I'd say a good percentage of the audience may be baby boomers that watch the NFL. We know it's men primarily, to watch the NFL, but you got millennials coming up, and then you got Gen Z coming up. So why wouldn't they come with some newer act, to the Super Bowl for halftime? And
now, I will admit, though,
I have signed the petition for the last 10 years in a row to get Metallica to do the halftime show.
yeah.
well, see, they're not. The thing about Metallica. Now, I like Metallica. Okay, I'm not knocking Metallica, but they're not a mainstream band. They are in the sense of metal. They are. They're certainly a mainstream band in metal and in hard rock, but they're not just a mainstream audience band. So I guess they thought because Usher had such a big song with "Yeah" and all that, okay, well he'll appeal to all audiences out there. And it was a boring damn show.
Yeah, I wish they would get some band like Journey or someone that's still around, because Journey's aren't they still touring?
Get some Foghat out there.
Well, and they
Foghat,
did
yeah.
that. They did that. Right before Tom Petty died, they did the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. Tom Petty did do the Super Bowl. You're absolutely right. He put on a hell of a show. Look, I don't think there's anyone going to come close to Princess Purple Rain in the damn rain in Minnesota. I don't think any halftime show will ever come close to that. And Paul McCartney put on a hell of a show, and Michael Jackson put on a hell of a show. Those are the three at the top of the mountain there as far as halftime shows go.
I'm not taking away any of Prince's musical ability, but that dude's kind of a weirdo.
Well, he's dead.
Well, he's dead now.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, when he was alive, that dude, that was a weird cat.
Well, he was a weird cat, but I'll tell you this: he was the most talented musician out there. This guy could play anything.
Yeah. A lot of those.
Have you ever seen him? Have you ever seen a video where it's Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, and Prince playing "While My Guitar Gently Weeps"?
Well, Michael Jackson.
I will highly encourage you, Slim, if you haven't seen that, to look that up on YouTube. It is some of the best guitar solo I've ever seen in my damn entire life.
Slim, the best performer in the past 100 years is probably Michael Jackson. Does it get any weirder than him?
Yeah, that's right.
I'll fight you over that a little bit, Scott. And this is a guy that, like that, I think cross genres and can cross generations.
Mm-hmm.
Why hasn't Carlos Santana been asked to do a halftime show?
Amen. There you go.
I mean, in my opinion, the greatest guitarist alive.
I'd say one of the greatest guitarists alive. I mean, I'll put Carlos up there in the top 10 as far as great guitarist goes. Absolutely.
Well, because nobody under the age of 30 even knows who he is.
No, that's true.
That's why.
True.
But he also, I mean, he did collabs with people across the board. So that's why I said, you know, he could appeal to a very broad audience.
Well, he could have Rob Thomas playing with him. He could have what's the chick he did? I can't think of her name. He did a guitar solo with her.
He did a version of My Guitar Gently Weeps.
I don't know. There's this shows. I had my own boomer moment last night. Whoever that girl was that came out with playing the electric guitar, I have no idea who that woman is. No idea. Do y'all know who it was?
I didn't see it.
Oh.
So
I mean, she was good and all. I have no idea who she is.
Yeah. Who played the electric guitar?
Well, you know what? You might probably Google it and say who played the electric guitar at halftime.
I don't know. I'd like to see a good rock act, but you know, something a little harder than Tom Petty.
Yeah. Well, look, to me, Tom Petty was the predominant rock band. Tom Petty and Heartbreakers. I mean, you look at the whole discography of what Tom Petty has done in his lifetime. It's amazing. Yeah. It is absolutely amazing. And the guy wrote the songs and then played the songs. And him and Mike Campbell were just in tune. Mike Campbell's that's another phenomenal guitarist, Mike Campbell.
Well, and you know, some of these guys, I think, like you said, you know, Metallica was mainstream in their own little niche. I mean, I'd even push back against that a little bit. I mean, the only act to sell more records than Metallica is Michael Jackson.
You know what I'd like to see play? Heart. Heart would be an outstanding band to play for the Super Bowl.
I think Ozzy deserves it before he goes.
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Fucking Ozzy, man. Hey, give him a bottle of wine and a few perks, and he's good to go.
I want to see like a band like Eagles, but I know they're on their farewell.
Yeah.
Dude, they've done 35 farewell tours. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. Hell, Elton John.
They've been doing a farewell tour since the fucking 90s.
Right. They have. You're right. Yeah. I mean, you know, they did a Hell Freezes Over tour and on and on and on. Yeah.
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 But they are packing stadiums still. Packing arenas.
You know, I'm not going to knock it. I mean, you know, I grew up on road trips with my mom playing the Eagles' greatest hits on cassette.
I got a CD. I got 2 CDs on them.
Yeah, as far as a predominant American rock band, Eagles are pretty much it too. I mean, great songwriting, great harmony. I mean, that band had everything. Yeah.
Especially if you want to
talk about classic acts that are. I mean, fuck, the Stones are still on tour. Fuck it, have them do it.
Damn right. Okay, I'm with you.
Wheel them out there in their fucking gurneys.
That's right. Look, their
Guns N'
last
Roses.
album is fan-freaking-tastic. That last album is phenomenal. Real
Hey,
good,
GNR.
really great album.
I say
Okay, I was joking more than a little bit.
Well, I'm telling you, the Stones still can do it. They can still play some damn rock and roll.
Got the Stones. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm convinced Keith Richards is going to outlive us all.
Oh, yeah, he is.
The
Yeah,
fucking
it's gonna be-
apocalypse is coming, and there's going to be,
Beetle
after
out.
everything's dead and gone, there's going to be 12 cockroaches and Keith Richards.
That's right.
And Willie,
Playing Start Me Up.
and Willie,
Yeah. He's going to be sitting there with a joint going, you know, I smoked your uncle. Did you know that?
Wow, we went way off from football to now halftime to artists. I mean, it's that's what you get on the Pigskin Pete midday show.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Out.
A potpourri of topics.
Yes. I don't know. I was thoroughly entertained.
Were you okay?
Yeah, I
mean, a lot
like
of
the
people said it was
whole
boring.
thing.
I thought it a little bit boring. I mean, the stage that jumped. I mean, that was kind of funky. But yeah, Usher on roller skates was kind of funky.
Usher
too.
on roller skates. I think the only thing I think they messed up on is like during the beginning of the halftime show, they were dancing down on the field on the grass, and you know the way he dances, like kind of like Michael Jackson, like sliding his feet around. Like you can't do that on grass. So it looked awkward. It looked like his feet were stuck in the mud or something. Then eventually he got up on and actually had a stage, and it was all right from there on. Alicia Keys was good too, I thought.
What I know this will never happen, but Roger Goodell will probably stop it. But they ought to put in some country acts to do the halftime show.
Oh my God!
If you put Jelly Roll in there, Morgan Wallen,
Yeah.
you know those type of people, put in a combo of those playing, that would blow it up.
And Scott, you got to do a combo. Because think about it. You pulled off like the rap in hip hop with Super Bowl 56. Why can't you get guys in there like Jelly and Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton? I thought
Yes.
looks like
Okay,
I
well, let's be honest. All of them you just named, Ballard, are rap except for Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, I was say, can you really?
Yes and no. I mean, Jelly Roll has crossed all genres. I mean, he's been on the rock charts, he's been on the
Country
contemporary charts, and he's been on the country charts.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, but I don't think he can sing very good. Like,
Oh,
I don't
he's
listen
pretty
to Jelly
damn
Roll
good.
for
Yeah, he
his
can
singing
sing.
ability.
I think he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, can you really call Jelly Roll country?
I mean, his biggest hits are country songs. So
Yeah, well, they also consider Florida Georgia line country, and it's not.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. That's bullshit. That's just shit music there.
Okay, well, I don't think Morgan Wallen's country either.
Well, yes and no. I mean, he is,
Like
and
to
he
me,
isn't.
like to me, if you're gonna have country, you're gonna have Alan Jackson. You're gonna have.
That's not country
Tim
music
McGraw.
today, Slim. That's not country music today. It just isn't.
Well,
I agree
the
with
shit,
you on
the
that.
shit out today isn't country music.
I agree with you on the premise that country music isn't what it used to be. But some of the artists that are coming up, they're bringing in a younger audience into country music, and they're pretty damn good. I mean, they are pretty damn good.
Well, you got guys out there like Aldine and Luke Combs and one of the up and cover. Shoot.
But see, they'll never put country artists on. They just won't.
no, they won't.
Because, no,
Well,
because
how
they're
about we
too damn
meet in the
politically
middle?
correct.
How about you meet in the middle then and kind of go something like a Brantley Gilbert for Southern Rock?
No, you know what they should do? They should.
Well,
They
hell,
should.
put on Skinner then.
Yeah.
Let him play
they're all
Freebird
dead.
for 15 damn minutes.
Hey, if you want to see everybody melt down, they should have Kid Rock do the halftime show and trot Donald Trump out on the stage with him.
Oh my God.
as long as he brings the midget with him too, it's cool.
And Trump doing the YMCA dance, out there, all the time while Kid Rock is playing. I can tell you a funny story about that little guy. His name was Joe. He passed away.
Yeah, he died.
But this was some years ago. I used to sell for a station that was an alt rock station, modern rock station, at The Edge. This was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We had Smash Mouth, we had Kid Rock, number of acts. But Kid Rock was the next to the last act to play that day. And he came out, and Limp Bizkit was playing too. But before they came out, I was backstage, and there's Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit talking to Little Joe, and Little Joe is telling him, Durst is saying, listen, I just made my first $1 million. He said, I'm about to buy my parents a house. And Little Joe is telling him, said, listen, you got to get into the stock market. You got to get into some blue chips. It was the most surreal damn conversation I've ever seen in my damn life. A little midget talking to Fred Durst about where he should spend his damn money.
Investments.
Stock market.
That would be hilarious. Just walk up on that conversation.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah, what's up, Nate?
Yeah, before I go, anyways, thank you for having me on and let me show you guys my dishwasher skills.
Yeah. Well, nobody saw it except for me and the other 5 people on the panel, but.
I'm about to say, you've been showcasing your dishwashing skills.
Yeah.
Well, at least I was muted, so. But anyways, my phone's at like 3%, so. Have y'all a good one.
See you later, Nate.
There goes Nate.
Hi, Nate.
See you, Nate.
I actually have to go too, though. So.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. I'll get out of here. Pete, let me tell you what I wanted to call you about.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get your advice on doing a podcast.
You want my advice?
Yeah, and the podcast equipment needed and all this and that.
What kind of podcast are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing something called the Radio Guys. And what I would do is interview guys that have been in radio broadcasting, personalities, programmers, all that. It would be more dealing with or kind of a niche type of podcast.
Well, you'll probably know a lot more about that than we do. So.
Yeah, but I don't know squat about podcasts.
I would listen to that because radio guys have great stories.
Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. I could pull some stories out of it.
Yeah.
The first question is, how did you start? When did you start your journey in radio broadcasting? And then go from there.
Yeah. All right, yeah. I mean, I can give you whatever advice I can give you. Probably ain't very much, but
radio industry is dying. So
we'll do the Carolina Ale House pretty soon, and maybe go grab a beer and a bite, and you can give me some advice.
That sounds great.
Okay, man.
All right.
Hey, have a good day, guys.
Yeah, you too,
See
buddy.
ya.
Hey, what do we have before I get out of here, man? The countdown. 2-3 weeks. I can't wait to meet you guys.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah.
I think it's about about 2 weeks.
I think the biggest question, Ballard, have you prepared your grandmother for the degeneracy?
Yes, that's a good question.
I'm gonna let it sneak up on her and see what she thinks.
Oh Lord.
She knows, I told her she knows about Lou and like what he's talked about and like rumors that have gone around and stuff, and it's like, yeah, he sits in his basement. I know that, and
yeah, no, it's grandma's basement, like you.
yeah. So she knows about Lou, and I mentioned like BBD and Pete and stuff like that. She doesn't watch you guys, but she knows some stories and some great stuff you guys have said on.
She needs to wear that same T-shirt that Law Tide wore that one year. I don't watch you.
I don't watch you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet you guys, man. It's going to be fun, and just I got big things coming up. I'm going to a concert in March. Need to get a date to that somehow. And
Really, who you going to see?
Brandon Lake.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah,
He's a big Christian artist.
A country guy?
No.
Oh, a Christian artist?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
really good.
That's why I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you too, Ballard, in a few weeks.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Keep in touch.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for me. Any announcements you have to make, Vic? So everyone go watch VicTube's latest Taylor Swift won the Super Bowl and Vic inhales helium video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make sure I watch that sometime today. I'm intrigued. All right. All right. See you later, Vic. Have a good one.
All right. All right.
All right, Slim.
Yep. Oh, whenever you get a chance, I need to talk to you about something concerning our Friday plans while we're down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A couple more names have thrown themselves into the hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Like how many more names?
Well, two that I know of, but then there was a whole nother question about another one and how you were going to deal with it. So
Oh, yeah.
we can deal with that off of here.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right. Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Later. All right, guys. Post Super Bowl midday show. Appreciate all of you. I'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock, though, on the Uncle Lou channel for the Lunch Money Show. I'm sure we'll talk plenty about the Super Bowl and about how we are basically, no, not basically. That's not even the right word. We are NFL betting geniuses. I am 100% winner on my NFL bets this year. I haven't lost a single bet, not one. So if you ever need any advice on betting on the NFL, I'm your guy. You can either contact me or you can email Uncle Lou at crazyunclelou@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to give you our picks. We probably ought to just start a website where people pay us for our picks. I mean, that'd be the smart thing to do. All right, guys, have a great Monday. I'll see you guys tonight